I guess I'd have to say that as an artist, I have done this all of my life, and I knew my parents actually knew from when I was 3 years old, and I was drawing off of the black and white television. That's aging me. But it was they saw me drawing from the TV, like the Flintstones and things like this. And the next thing you know, I would get art supplies. My birthday's on Christmas Day. I was first born to Virgin Mary Magdalene, and that is not a lie. That is the honest to God truth. And so for Christmas, birthday, I would always receive art supplies. I drew all the way through school, on my desk, in my locker, all over the place, and I get in trouble for it. I didn't take direction very well, never did. So I didn't do that well in school, except for in art. I've always kind of been my own leader, and I was somewhat popular back in school. I guess just because of the pretty eyes that I got from my mother. But all the way through, I was able to keep going with my art. My dad asked me when I was 11 years old. He said to me, he says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "Well, I want to be happy." So I said, "I'm going to be an artist." And he said to me, he said, "Oh no, why don't you just keep that as a hobby?" And I said, no, like I can't take direction from anybody else. And so he says, "You could be a lawyer. You've got a good gift of the gab." And yeah, well, you know what? It still requires going to more school and colleges and universities. And I'm just not that person. I need to kind of do it on my own. And so I have done. And, it's proof in the pudding. It's like young people. If your parents recognize that you're artistic from the beginning, put them in that direction, because it's so important. I've lived the most amazing life. I've done everything. I've checked off my entire bucket list. My entire bucket list is done, except for two things, and that's my book and my documentary. And those two things are super important to me, because the fact is that I'm hoping that those will inspire the younger generation to know you don't have to go work for the man. You don't have to go punch a time card. You actually can do it on your own. Don't let the people tell you what to do. You make it happen on your own. I've done it. And as a result of that, like I said, I've literally checked off everything on my bucket list. I've met all the musicians I wanted to. I didn't stand in lineups waiting to go see a concert. I dressed up like a roadie and I hung around the backstage until all of a sudden one of the stage managers said, "Are you ever going to do any work?" And I said, "Oh, I will, absolutely, 100%. Next thing you know, he puts me on the list, and I'm roadie for every band that came through. I got to meet every one of them on that level as a stagehand. But later on in life, I ended up working for the bands I became a professional artist, and I ended up working for the bands that I had met backstage as a roadie back in the day. I don't like standing in lineups. I don't even like paying bills. I'm not good at it. I'm good at painting. That's what I do. And I've enjoyed, like having apprentices. I've enjoyed having crews and everything else. But again, it's something that I found in my travels that I have to do on my own. And that's why I have this is my little unconditional love in a small package. And she comes with me everywhere, including 18 stories up on buildings, and walks on rooftops. She's been in children's hospitals. She's done all sorts of things with dementia wards and dementia patients. She's done charities with me, and we go everywhere together. She's my little spirit animal. But as a result of all of it, I have painted from here, Victoria, BC, all the way down to Costa Rica. And I started doing work in the Caribbean. I moved to the Cayman Islands because they asked me to do one job, and I started getting lineups. I'm painting boats, I'm painting the big hotels, I'm doing all the beach bars, I'm painting everywhere down there. I have this little method now. When I go work in different countries, I'll go into like a town, like say, or an area like the Bahamas, for example, and I'm you know, I'm working already on a site at one point, and I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind sticking it out here for a little bit. So I'll go and I'll ask the locals, where's the biggest, you know, most happening beach bar? And I'll go over and where they tell me, oh, thank God it's Fridays or whatever it is. And I'll go there and I'll say, is there a manager or owner around? Oh yeah, he's sitting on the other side of the bar there. So I'll go over and I'll go and sit down with him and show him through some of my portfolio pictures. He goes, oh wow, man, you're really good. I said, well, will you be interested in getting any artwork done? He goes, oh yeah, we're not really looking to spend any money on artwork right now, but thanks a lot. You know, maybe come back in a couple of months or something. Anyways, I said, well, no, I'll do it for free. I'll just do that little wall over there by those sort of outdoor showers for when people get off the beach. Oh yeah, sure, if you're gonna do it for nothing. I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, just buy me lunch or something. And so I'll get my gear together, get set up, and I'll go over, and while the tourists are watching, I'm painting a little underwater scene with the coral reefs and the fish and the bubbles and a little bit of, you know, distance in it, you know, old shipwreck or something in the background. And I get a standing ovation. Well, all of a sudden the guy, you know, the owner just bought me lunch, says, that was really impressive what you did over there. I said, oh, thanks. And he goes, look, you want to come and have a look at something with me? And it was something I had spotted earlier. And he'll take me around to the front of the building where there's this big massive wall that is like 15 by 40 feet long, that's blank white that I spotted earlier. That's the wall I want. He goes, how much would it cost to do like a you know, a bunch of dolphins jumping and you know, breaching in the water? And then next thing you know, I'm living there for about 6 weeks and getting paid for it. But you know, I would do that in different areas, you know, like go to different islands and play that same game, and I would get it no problem. I really enjoyed working in the Caribbean because we did a thing that was like island hopping. So I could be doing something, I centered in the Cayman Islands, but I could go to like Cancun, Cozumel, you know, all on a lot less airfare than it would be for me to leave from here, for example. I ended up becoming like doing all of the artwork in the Caribbean till the Hard Rock Cafe brought me on. And so I was doing grand openings with the Hard Rock Cafe and hand land on my shoulders at one particular grand opening in the Bahamas. And it's a nice job. And I turned around, it was Sean Connery. You know, and it's just like these things happen to me all the time. Lenny Kravitz was at the opening as well, coming over and remarking about my work. But these things just seem to fall into place. And then I found a lot of my friends were saying, oh, Archie, you got to go and see Costa Rica. Is that it's just absolutely, the wildlife is just amazing. And I love doing paintings of wildlife, you know, especially the birds and the toucans and, you know, the monkeys, the sloths and everything else. So I took it, and my friends were buying property down there. So I thought, you know what, I got enough to buy a little chunk of land, well, may as well do that. So I go there, and I'm with like these French-Canadian people that owned a lodge there, and they were realtors, and they were showing me different farms, or what they're called. You know, we'll show you a different farm, and you know, I'm seeing, you know, houses that are on the beach and everything else, but they're all like sort of templated, and they all look the same, and kind of the same layouts. And I'm going, no, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. And all of a sudden, the wife of the realtor goes, I know the property. And he's going, oh, no, I know what you're getting at. And the next thing you know, she goes, La Cascada, which means the waterfall. And so I say, what, you've got a land with waterfall on it? Yeah, it's 40 foot high, beautiful big waterfall, and it's in your price range. And so I said, I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't wait to see it. She showed me a photograph of it. Went there, and I just bought it in a heartbeat, a beautiful big waterfall. My ultimate plan would be to actually build like a lodge on it and have cabinas behind it and have my friends come and stay and visit and, you know, and stay there for you know, come for their holidays or whatever. But I ended up painting in the jungles. I also do rescue and release of any indigenous animals that are, you know, injured from things like hurricane wing damage on birds and things like that as well. And so I've learned a lot about that. Like we rescued a monkey, and I've looked after like, you know, the big iguanas and injured turtles and things like that too. Like after hurricanes, I literally like shaking palm trees for turtles dropping down. We've just gone through so much. and enjoyed every single part of it. You know, I had a little bat that couldn't fly because we released a bunch of bats from a children's school attic, and you have to count them as they leave, then go up there with a flashlight and find like one little baby one left, pick it up, and I put them in my pocket, and I had to feed them at certain times. I'm doing Google, like, how do I look after a bat? What do you feed it? This little puppy formula and stuff. But in the evenings, I could hang them on my baseball cap, on my little brim, and go into the bars. And my buddies, bartenders, and friends are going, only you would have like a pet bat, you know? And I named him Nicodemus. I know you're not supposed to do the naming them, but anyways, he was finally good to go after about 6 weeks. I kind of wanted him to stick around because he would fly around my head. I thought if I did a Dracula for Halloween or something, that'd be kind of fun to walk into a club and have a little bat floating around your head while you're dressed up. But yeah, I did the Cayman Islands for about 6.5 years. And in doing so, I was able to hit all these other, I went Antigua and Bahamas and St. Martin and Trinidad, Tobago, Cozumel, Cancun, and like I said, all the way down to Costa Rica. I did the Florida Keys, a lot of those with the Hard Rock Cafes. I've had 2 letters from Disney that I turned down. And, you know, a lot of people say, whoa, why would you turn down Disney? Well, you know what? My family lawyer went through it, and he looked through the fine print, and they own you. And again, you got a suit hanging over your shoulders that I just, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard for me. So I turned that down. They offered me a house and beautiful 2 cars, and could live in California or Florida, and we'll sweeten the deal. And they sent me the second letter, and no, thank you, no, thank you. I'm humbled, but thank you. No. Anyways, but now that I've got like well over 11,000 murals out there, and you know, I've had several crew and several partners and several apprentices and everything. I've got enough body of work that I can actually do not just one book, but probably a trilogy of like 5 books with every story. I've been shot at, I've been stabbed, I've fallen from a building, I've been found in a burning bed, I've had an exorcism, I've been homeless, I've been an alcoholic, I've been a drug addict, I've lost my son, my younger son. I have had so many things happen to me, but for some reason, God won't let me go yet. I'm still good to go, and I'm still here, and here to talk about it and to inspire. And that's the main thing that I really do believe. It's just to inspire. You know, artists are meant to inspire people. It's not about yourself and, you know, your glorification or your ego or anything else like that. I mean, a lot of it comes with the territory, but it's more important that, you know, the letters I get and the feedback I get from people where a little old lady's on her deathbed and she asks her daughter to pass her phone so she can see what stories me and my little Lana have done in the last couple of days, because it makes her giggle, makes her laugh on her deathbed. I've never had, you know, when I start hearing some of these things, it makes it all worth it. I did a job in a children's hospital. Children were right near where I was painting were little babies that were addicted to heroin, you know, and newborns and stuff like that. And it was brutally hard for me to do, but you know, I would interact with the kids, the older ones, and say, "What do you want me to paint? You tell me what you want me to do on this wall." You know, and they, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay, you know, and I'd start doing something for them, you know, and the nurses were so grateful and said, you know, it was so beautiful how you interacted with the children. A year or so went past, and I got a letter, and they contacted me, and they said, we needed to tell you something, and they said, do you realize that the children that are in the ward where you painted are healing faster than the children in the other areas of the hospital that are surrounded by the surgical, that industrial kind of, what looks like an insane asylum inside, you know? I mean, it's so corporate and everything. And these children were healing faster. I said, what is more top shelf for an artist than to have, you know, something where your artwork is healing the children, and in the old folks' homes, and in the dementia wards where the people look out the window at an ugly mildewy wall, and all of a sudden you got a rainforest with an eagle floating past. The stuff like this is really what what makes me keep going. It's my gasoline. There was a little old man that I met. I used his face as a in one of my murals saluting the Canadian flag for Legion, and he just lost his wife in a freak accident. She slipped on the patio, cracked her head, and he lost her, and he was absolutely mortified. They used to hold hands in their 90s, hold hands down the streets. Everybody knew them in this little town up north. And so I did a portrait of her and I gifted it to him, and he was in tears and he was so heartbroken, and he was just so grateful that he could look at his Betty Ann in the mornings when he woke up, you know, with this portrait that I painted. Said it looks exactly like her, that I actually got it down. And he just passed recently, so at least they're together now, so that's kind of a good thing. But he did manage to take me out for dinner, and we had some good talks. He was a real war hero. But what I'm getting at is that when your artwork is that important to some people, I never know the ripple effect of some of the murals that I do and what happens. I had a little old man come up to me. I'd done a portrait that you'll see in this of a old man fly fishing with his little grandson. And I had a man come up to me and goes, "You have no idea how much this mural means to me." And I was saying, "How so?" He said, "I used to do that. I used to fly fish with you know, my children and my children's children." And he said, "And I've got such bad arthritis now that I can't do it anymore. So I just come here and I, you know, reflect on that." And that was a mural, speaking of reflecting, that was a mural where I take note of the surroundings and the environment before I paint a mural, like where the trees shadow onto the building, or the rocks, that there might be some rock work that they want to turn it into a river that flows into the building as well. I have to see where the sun hits it, where the shadows are, where the trees are, and so on and so forth. And on that particular, there's a grandfather and a grandson fly fishing in a pond. And at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a windy, sunny day, the sun beams through these trees, and the leaves blowing make it look like the pond is actually like rippling, with the water's rippling. That's why you take note as to what the environment is around when you actually really look at what you're going to paint and how you can work in magic like that. I'm just really grateful. I got a really great following of great people, and I can't say it enough that you really need to, if your children or child is somewhat artistic, push them in this direction. Get them art supplies or ballet slippers, or, you know, a little pretend DJ setup, whatever it takes. If they're interested in, show the interest, then support them with that.
If there's a rope stretching up to the sky, with all my dreams at the very top so high, I get so caught up in everything around me, moving quickly, I forget to cherish. I forget about the climb, I just want to get there, don't want to wait in line, even though it's so clear that I'm called to good patience on the journey that I'm on, and on I'll come out alive, and it will only make me strong. Yeah, well, everyone's focused on the hype. I'll be wondering why we seem to think that you'll be happier once you reach the top. You'll have it all, but I'm living for right now. 'Cause what if tomorrow never comes? I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting to be happy. No, 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 no. The company to fall. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I can't just sit around and wait for my life to start. I can make a difference, put a little happiness in someone's heart. The fancy cars, the glitter and the fame, it's so nice, but it won't be worth a thing. Love is bigger, so I'ma stand up for love, yeah. 'Cause people seem to think that you'll be happier once you reach the top. You'll have it all, but I'm living for right now. 'Cause what if tomorrow never comes? I'm not waiting, no, reach the top, you'll have it all. Yeah. Think it's that I like you, no, and I don't wanna fuck it up. Think it's that I miss you, but I don't wanna call you up. Don't wanna be too annoying, thinking that I want you too much. But I think I just really like you. Where have I gone and lost myself? Searching for love up on the shelf. Don't call me, I'm already 6 shots. Just trying to make it until the end of the
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to have such an amazing person, probably one of the greatest artists that I've ever met.
Well, my full name will always just be Archer.
Yeah, that's how you know he's a star. Like Cher, he only has one name. He's known infamously around this island, from here to the other side of the world and back. Like 11,000 pieces. Are you kidding me? This guy, and not just 11,000 whatever pieces. I'm talking each and every one will blow your mind. Like absolutely just the best of the best. And I'm just grateful to do this with you. A brilliant person in all levels, not just with your art. Always smiling, always happy, always positive. And it's just amazing. I'm speechless.
Thanks, brother.
I'm a rapper. I do not.
Well, I'm honored and I'm glad to do this.
Just trying to make it until the end of
And this is Archer and Lana, and we're signing out for now.